What is up, everybody? This is Cody Mac, and at long last, welcome back to the All Mac No Cheese podcast. It has been a long minute, months, and I could come up with like a bunch of excuses as to why I missed the first recording in the first week of uploading, and then the next week, and then the next week, and then this and that. And truth be told, I just got a lot going on in life right now, and I gotta be I got to give myself a lot more grace than I have been. I've definitely expected myself to be able to perform and operate at maximum capacity, like better than ever is really what I expect of myself right now. But there's a lot of things that I am dealing with that are hindering my potential. Not saying I can't still achieve a lot and make positive progress during this time, but I'm being a little too hard on myself, and then it leads to things like that where I miss a week of the podcast, and then I just let the podcast sit on ice for a little bit. And I've wanted to do the podcast. I've wanted to sit here and record this and just talk and get some friends to come through and talk to them, but I haven't. I just haven't done it for whatever reason, and I don't really have any good excuse other than, I'm going through some stuff and I've been fooling myself into thinking I can't do this at all unless I'm at my best or something like that, when the whole idea of starting this was just to get something going, just to have some fun, make some content, because I am a content creator and I have been since I was a teenager, and I'm pushing 30. I'm 29 now. And I think I just started taking it a little too seriously without ever saying it, without ever admitting it to myself that that's what I was doing. But yeah, here I am finally doing it. I'm trying a new setup here. I got my phone recording and my mic plugged into the phone. And that's because sitting in that office, sitting in the lab recording these, it's not a bad vibe, but it's a different vibe. It's a vibe that I've outgrown. It feels like I'm recording the same old YouTube videos I recorded when I was a teenager all the way up until like a couple years ago. And I've like definitely hung up the towel in terms of like making gaming videos, of being that sitting in my room YouTuber, not to say I don't still have interest in making content exactly what I'm making right now, a podcast, a video podcast. You might just be listening on some platforms, but if you're watching, you could see me sitting here in my kitchen, kind of naturally, I guess, a little more naturally than in my office, where I'm definitely there. I got all this computer equipment around. It's like, oh yeah, I'm a YouTuber. I'm here to do this. And not saying I dislike that. I definitely like spending time in the office, playing games, doing whatever on the computer. But like, the content I'm making, the content I want to make, it doesn't revolve around at this current moment, like being in that hot seat. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm trying to say. If I have a guest on, that room's going to be where it happens still, because that's where I got the other mic. That's where it's the easiest to have the dual mic setup until I get more stuff going, because I want to make this a mobile podcast. I want to make this a podcast where I go to others and we set up and we do a podcast recording wherever we want. Out in the woods, on a mountain, in the middle of the desert. I don't care. I think that would be fun. I think that'd be cool, and that kind of would embody a little bit of myself in a way, I'm not a very sit still kind of person, so having every episode of the podcast be in one room isn't really what I'm going for. But anyways, I'm rambling. I'm totally rambling right now, and there is something I want to achieve on this episode of the All Mac No Cheese podcast. Obviously, we're just coming back. Obviously, this is kind of like a episode 1. We had, 4 episodes before it went on ice, 1 episode alone, 3 episodes with guests. We're definitely going to get back to having guests and whatnot. Here comes our guest right now, Miss Molly. I don't think you'll be able to see her on this camera angle, but the Poochie is here. Come on. Come here. Come on. Let's see if they can see you. Come on, go. There she is. There she is. I'm sure you can see like the tip of her nose or something sticking up there. But Yeah, I am back. I am still life is still crazy, and I don't want to delve or dive into the details of what I'm dealing with right now. Obviously, I have referenced that I'm got some stressors in my life. Get down, girl. Get down, Molly. Hey, get down. Good girl. But obviously, I have mentioned that I have some stressors going on in my life, and that's why I've kind of not tried too hard at making a podcast episode in the last few months. And the real thing that I think I want to talk about, and the whole reason I wanted to sit down and record this, is kind of the way I'm dealing with it. The way I'm dealing with it. I've been a long time believer in the idea of, it's not about how do I word this? Basically, it's about how you react to things. Just to keep it simple, that how you react to things says the most about you. It's like kind of like, your mistakes don't define you. It's the next steps you make. It's the way you come back, the way that you atone, the way that you make right for your wrongs that defines you more than your wrongs to begin with. And I don't think what I'm going for here is like, that sounds a lot more like you've done sins, and the way that you atone for those sins is da 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 da. It's not really in that department, but it's more so just like where I'm at in life, the circumstances that I currently exist within, don't define me as much as the way I react to being in these circumstances. And the way I've been reacting to being in the circumstances I'm in, which, to just once again keep it simple for the sake of the audience, I'm in a stressful time of life. Some of the most stress that I've experienced in my 29 years so far. And the way I've been reacting to that, I can't come on here and say, oh yeah, I'm very proud. I'm very proud of the way that I have reacted to these stressful times. I could say that I am somewhat proud. I'm not completely disappointed in myself, but I can't come on here and say like, oh, I couldn't handle this better, because I know I can. I know I can handle just stress of life, and I know I can handle it better. And that brings me, before I try to create a bunch more words, that's a problem I got to work on, especially doing a podcast. I often try to, I short story long. I am the master of short story long instead of long story short. I want to get better at, just saying it what it is. I don't need to go long story short, but I'm going to end that right there to practice on that, because that's enough said. That's enough words to convey my point. So to get back on my train of thought, because I tangented, all that, let me get the words here. Let me think before I speak to make my father happy. My dad would always say that during my childhood. Think about what you're gonna say and then say it, because me and my siblings, all of us would go, dad, we'd be like stuttering. Dad, did you? And he'd be like, think about what you want to say and then say it. And then we'd say a full coherent sentence. And that's what I got to do right now as I tangent again. Luckily, this tangenting and the way I'm losing my train of thought is actually all relevant to the point I'm about to make. So on one hand, I'll delve a little deeper into how I could say I am a little bit proud of how I've handled this. I have not been negatively emotional as much as many would be in my shoes, or as much as even I could be. I got a fair bit of anger in my system, and a fair bit of sadness, and a fair bit of a few different negative emotions in my system, sure, but I'm not letting them dictate my life. I'm not letting them rule me. I'm kind of just feeling them as they come and letting it pass, processing things, letting it pass, not catastrophizing. I don't know if I pronounced that word right, but not making a catastrophe out of all of these emotions, just kind of, it is what it is. Here's where I'm at. Being kind of logical about it. Like where does giving this more energy than it deserves really land me? What does that do for my situation, for my position? Those kinds of things. I'm proud of myself in that regard because I could definitely just be on an angry, emotional rampage. I have before in times of great stress, just gone on kind of emotional meltdowns. And I'm definitely seeing that I am 29 now and not like 20 or 21. My just getting older is showing. The fact that I've been through therapy is showing, and I have a better tool set at my disposal. And I'm proud of myself for that. Where I'm not proud of myself is there's a lot that I don't really know if I'd even say at this point. I'm starting to understand this more, and part of me making this episode is to speak it out loud, and so that I can hear it and kind of come up with better words as I go. It holds me a little more accountable when I'm saying this and I'm posting it online. I have friends that are going to watch this, and I encourage you guys to speak to me about this in person. And if I seem uncomfortable, like I don't want to talk about it, it means I should be. It means that I'm trying to not say something because I'm probably failing on some of my goals, and that's okay. It's okay that I'm failing. I have to not be so harsh on myself. And if you guys could dig it out of me, like, hey, dude, all right, come on, talk to me. What are you doing to yourself that you're not happy with? If you can get that out of me, and I'm going to try to do better at it on my own. But if you're the homies, if I'm close with you, this is me giving you permission to pry a little bit. It's good for me. It's good for me to hold myself accountable, to face that little bit of shame, not to let the ego stop me from growing, But onto those topics that I was speaking about, though, that I am kind of going to be finding the words for as we go. So I don't know if I'd call it goals that I have for myself, or like just kind of cravings and urges for what my mind believes would be healthier for my life. Healthier for me and my life. And what do I mean by that is my lifestyle right now is not great. It's not great. I don't eat very healthily. I don't get as much exercise as I probably should, and that goes hand in hand with eating. I need to gain some weight. I want to work out. I want to have a fit, in shape body. I want to get a little bit of muscle going on. Right now, I'm a skinny dude. I'm not necessarily out of shape. I work a physical job. I got enough endurance and stamina, but I'm not as strong as I want to be or need to be to do my very physically demanding job. I could do most physically demanding jobs, but I'm working in a construction space. I got to get stronger, and I know it. I want to. It's not just something like, oh, I got to get strong for my job so I don't fall behind. I just want to take better care of my body. I want to take better care of my body, and right now I'm not doing that, and I haven't been doing that. I've taken one step in the right direction, and then I left it right there. I didn't do anything with it, and I want to work on that, and I want to hold myself more accountable. And that's a theme throughout everything I'm about to talk about, wanting to work on these things and hold myself accountable, because I am really bad with discipline, with holding myself accountable. And once again, any of my friends watching this, help me out. This is like a weird self-help episode of the podcast, where I'm literally just dumping what's going on in my head. And that's okay. It's my podcast. I'm allowed to do what I want. And I hope some of you guys can relate. Maybe you're dealing with some of these similar struggles. Reach out. Let's deal with it together. Let's, set some challenges or goals for each of us to stick by, and we'll do it for a week. And if somebody fails, they got to buy the other person this. And if we both succeed, we'll go do something fun together on the weekend, like as a treat for ourselves. And having a partner in that stuff definitely helps you stay accountable. Because if it's just me, like, what happens if I don't do it? Oh no, me, the only person that can inflict consequence, that can be let down, is just like, oh, okay, whatever. But when you got a partner, it usually, you want to stick by it more, even if it's just an ego driven thing. Like, oh yeah, if I do this and this guy sees that I failed, I'm the loser. I don't want to lose. I'm a winner. I want to be a winner. That kind of concept. So taking better care of my body is definitely one of the things that I need to be doing. I'm about to turn 30. It's time. It is time. It's already been time, but I know sooner or later I'm going to start feeling the consequences of eating like crap, only getting exercise at work. No, I want to get better. I want to get better at all of that stuff and doing it for me, not doing it because I'm getting paid on the clock, doing it because I know it's healthy for me and it's going to make me feel good. And I'm going to be able to do more physically active things as I get older because I like being physically active. That's one of the things. Another one of the things is doom scrolling, social media, cell phone usage. I definitely have, once again, don't know if I'd call it a goal or an urge to improve my life, that my body is screaming at me from within, my soul and my mind and my, mental, just like, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. You're hurting us. Brain rot, it's not even brain rot content that I'm talking about. Like, it's not like the, freaking skibbity toilet and all these weird montages that's like 7 memes per second, and you're like, what is happening? And the kids are all into it. I don't watch that brain rot stuff, but even just watching any form of short form content, I have kind of determined it's kind of brain rot. My shorts feeds are pretty well curated to where it's either funny stuff or it's interesting stuff that I'm interested in. My Instagram Reels and my YouTube Shorts, the two short form platforms that I am active on, my algorithms are good. Like, they got what I want, and it keeps me hooked. It keeps me hooked because I'm getting good quality short form content more often than not. And next thing I know, I've scrolled hours away of my day, and I'm like just moving on, and it's like I'm blinking an eye. I'm not looking at the clock during this time. My day just feels shorter, and that time is kind of just boop, it's gone. It's gone like a bad Xanax trip. Like, you took too much Xanax and you blacked out and you can't remember what happened last night. That's literally what I'm doing to myself when I watch these short form contents, and it's like, like, oh, I just watched 20 minutes of shorts in a row. That's 20 minutes that's just gone from memory because I don't retain. How many shorts is that? That's at least 20 shorts typically, if not many more, because a lot of shorts are like 15 seconds. So I'm not going to retain all of that. Maybe one thing I'll retain from all of that, and it's stupid. It's not worth retaining, really, and I'll forget it later that day. It's a problem for me. It's a problem for me. I think it is doing bad things to my attention span, and I could just I don't feel good after it. I feel pretty bad. The instant gratification of watching these things isn't even there. Like, most of the time, you're watching these rapid fire content because you're getting a full little thing in less than a minute, and it feels good. It feels good on the brain. Like, oh yeah, let's get some more of that. Let's get some more content going, just actively stimulating my brain. And I'm overstimulated. Like, my brain is so freaking overstimulated that it's fried. I can't focus on like actually taking my time and thinking things through as well as I would like to, because I'm so like just coded like, oh wait, my phone, let me watch some shorts, let me put on a YouTube video while I'm doing this so I have something to listen to, let me do this, let me do that. My leg is falling asleep, baby. I don't know what's up with that. But that's how it is I'm always looking for ways to stimulate my brain during everything I'm doing. Even when I'm driving, I listen to YouTube videos more often than I listen to music when I drive. And I love listening to music when I drive because it's a lot less stimulating towards the brain, and it leaves my brain open to be stimulated by driving, which I find to be a pleasant experience unless I'm in like traffic. I commute. I drive a lot a day, and I really don't mind it. I really do not mind it. You know, when I'm driving home and there's traffic, sometimes a YouTube video is kind of nice, stimulate me, keep me a little more awake than, oh, here we go. But for the most part, dude, like, I want to get back to just listening to music when I drive, like people have done for a very long time. Because I'm just, this is me even going beyond the short form stuff, just YouTube in general, long form content. I still think it's better than flooding my brain with the short form stuff. But I'm so addicted to that mental stimulation that I get from my smartphone, always having a YouTube video going, always having something on Netflix going in the background. I want to defeat that. And I don't know the path to get to where I'm going yet with all of these things I'm bringing up, but I know that one exists, and really it comes down to me just putting my foot down, which I really do hope, speaking this all out loud finally and hearing myself say it, having something to watch back. I want to watch this episode back like every day, just to hear this stuff. And I want to make a really good part at the end of this to really listen back to really try to keep me disciplined and on the mark with this stuff. But Instagram Reels, Instagram in general, like just smashing through stories, watching everybody's stories, it's not good for me, man. I really need to take a social media detox, and it's hard for me to do this part because I have never done this, but that includes YouTube. And I want to post to YouTube, but the thing is, I just got to get it off my phone. I got to make all of this stuff only accessible from computer, because then I got to go to a specific place in my house to do it. Or I got to have my laptop, and I don't bring my laptop with me many places. It's a lot more inconvenient than the little electronic computer in my pocket. They're all electronic, but the little portable computer in my pocket being my iPhone. So that's really what I think it comes down to, is I got to delete the Instagram app, or maybe just sign out of everything that isn't this podcast Instagram account, just so I can still post about this, because I don't know how Instagram on the PC. I mean, I'll figure it out. Maybe I just do it all on my PC if I can. I know back in the day, Instagram didn't really have PC capability, but I'm talking like 10 years ago, so it's probably better by now, I'd imagine. Being this big influencer thing, it makes sense. Anyways, back to where I was leading with this. That's I guess, big thing 2 of 3. There's 3 big things, and I'm glad to put a number to it and actually have this be a little bit trackable here. Number 1, my body, my health, my physical well-being. Number 2, my social media usage and addiction and mental stimulation overload that I face. And then number 3, this one goes a little bit hand in hand with each of them, more so the number 1, the health thing. Marijuana. I've talked about this before on the podcast and talked about how I want to stop using it so much. I'm just going to straight up say it. I'm pretty hooked on the pots. Anybody who tells you weed is not addictive, they're talking all physical, baby, because mentally, you could get addicted to anything. The way people get addicted to food being like a comfort thing, the way people get addicted to soda, which I guess, yeah, there might be caffeine in there, even if it's caffeine-free. There's a lot of sugar, and sugar's got a little bit of addictiveness to it. But it's really with weed, and I can say this with a little bit of experience. I will share the story in a second. It's not physically addictive for me. It's super duper mentally addictive, though. Physically, I've taken about 2 weeks off, and that's the biggest break I've had in 9 years. I hate to say that out loud. I hate how big that number is. Oh, but it's good to hear it out loud, because it's more reason to stop, to put it down, make it a very occasional thing, because that's what I want it to be, and it's very hard for it to be that for me, and I think I got to take like a very long time away from it before it can become that. Stop treating life like everything has to happen right away. What do I mean by all that? So, weed. I have been I guess I don't even like saying trying to quit, because if I was trying to quit, I would have more progress. But I've been thinking about and dreaming about quitting for a very long time. And eventually, sooner or later, each time I kind of give up on the notion. And most recently, I have told myself I am done because I want to save the money. This is a significant amount of money that can help me out with all of my other expenses in life, that I just, it's really not doing enough for me to justify how much I'm spending on it. It's not doing anything for me. Just straight up, Yeah, it affects me. Yeah, it still like does something to me. But a while ago, about a year and a half ago, I wanted to stop. I really wanted to stop. So I actually stopped. I freaking knuckled down, and I even had stuff still on me. Like, I didn't have to stop. I could just do it whenever I felt like it. But I buckled down, I knuckled down, and I said, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And I stopped doing it. And I lasted for a week and a half to 2 weeks. And once again, as soon as I quit, a week later, super stressful situation in life. I was going through it without weed for a while, and I just kind of cracked. I cracked after a week of that, and I was like, oh, dude, no, I'm doing it. This is stupid. This is a bad time to quit, yada, yada, XYZ. I get all the stuff that you do when you quit something and then you relapse. It's basically what I did with weed. Because I wanted to be done. I wanted to be done, and then right then and there, I was like, you know what? Actually, I think I could do this in moderation. I think if I just do it at this intervals, I'll be good. It won't be as bad for me. And I was good for a while of like actually sticking to, okay, I'm only going to smoke on weekends. And I actually did smoke once a week on weekends for a month or two. But what I noticed is literally on Monday, I already have this thing I'm doing in my head, where I'm doing a countdown. I'm like, all right, it's Monday. I just got to make it through the week, and I can smoke this weekend. Like, I'm literally so mentally hooked on this stuff that even though I'm reducing my usage drastically, I'm like, my motivation to get through the week is I get to smoke when it's the weekend again. I get to get high again. That's dumb. That's stupid. That defeats the whole purpose. That's the kind of thinking that led me right back to where I am now, where I'm smoking every day. Like, as often as I can, realistically. And I want to stop. I want to just take all of that stuff, get it out of my house. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but I want to go put it somewhere else, give it away to somebody, say, here, take this all. And I just bought stuff last night, and I just want to give it away. Like, today, I've been very motivated. I've been really feeling this strong, I feel it more every single day. And I think I just feel a little guilty that I keep going and buying more and spending more money. The number one reason I want to stop right now is the money. And, on top of everything else, there's no negatives to quitting. And I recognize that. The only negative is I don't get to get high. I have to deal with a few days of adjusting and getting crappy sleep and having a hard time falling asleep. It's not that bad. I've been through it. I thought I was going to be going crazy the first time. After the first night without it, after I got through the first night falling asleep without smoking, I went a day. And then after that day, the next day, I was like, I feel great. My head feels clearer than it's felt in years. I feel a lot more capable of speaking and communicating. Like, I felt fantastic. And I don't know why it's so hard for me to chase that feeling. I miss it. It's the whole reason that I'm having this feeling, this urge, like, quit it, dude. Put it down. Leave it down. But I just keep doing it. I just keep doing it because it's so easy to just walk up and do it on an ADHD, super lack of discipline impulse. And it's hard for me to admit that that's what I'm doing. It's very hard for me to just come out here, and I'm putting this online, dude. And I know it might sound however it sounds. Some people might think I sound like a weakling. They might think I sound like less of a man because this is how I'm living my life. This is me coming here and saying, as a man, I don't like it. I don't like it. And I got to be a man and take accountability and fix this for myself so I could be the type of man I want to be. So I could be a leader. So I could be an uplifter, to be somebody that improves the lives around me. Because I'm not doing that. I'm a stoned ape. Dude. I am just living life for a good time. And, when I'm with my friends having a good time, I don't think there's a damn thing wrong with it. I think that's how we should all live a little more. Get with your close ones, your loved ones, your friends, your family. If you're drinking, no matter what, if you're partying's good when you're in good company, when it's safe and responsible and in moderation. That's a good time to share with your loved ones. If you're out partying with strangers for the sake of the party, then, it ain't the way. It ain't the way. And I've come to realize that. I've come to recognize that, throughout just many years of life. But if you're literally getting together with just a group of people where everybody was invited by somebody that's like, yeah, this person's cool, and we could trust them to respect this home we're all about to have a great time together in. And then you get together and it's just like all love. It's like a family party vibe, even if it's friends. Nothing beats that. And I'm not trying to say like, oh yeah, having a good time's bad. I have too much of a good time. I just need to live life more seriously. I'm just trying to be more selective. I'm trying to make sure when I'm living for the good time, when I'm living for the fun, it's because of who's there, who I'm having that fun with, what we're celebrating, our wins in life, the fact that we're alive and get to spend this time together. We don't know when somebody's going to get a job opportunity that rips them right out of where we've been hanging out for the past 10 years. We have no clue when somebody's going to be gone. So we're living it up, and we're appreciating this time we got together. We're appreciating the time we got in our 20s and early 30s while we're still, still relatively young. I think there's nothing wrong with that, but I gotta drop a lot of these bad habits that are just sucking up my time, wasting time, getting high, and then I sit on my phone and doom scroll. The getting high definitely enables the doom scrolling, the social media abuse, and it's just a self-fulfilling cycle. And I know, like, hey, put the weed down. It's gonna make putting the phone down easier. Work on both of these things. Delete the apps you gotta delete. Yeah, you might not get messages. You might not get notifications. You might be out of the social loop a little bit. Guess what? You have everybody's phone number. You even have your closest friends' locations, and you guys are on a literally open door basis where literally come over anytime. With each other. So I can see where they're at, hit them up. Hey, I'm coming over. That cool? Yeah, come through. And I'm there. And anything I'm missing on social media by not being there to DM, I don't know what that was. Anything I'm missing, I'm not really missing it. That's the thing too, is I got to recognize this and admit this. I think like, I want to stay available on social media to get a hold of people, to be able to be social and to have these interactions because I value being social. You put something on your story, you get some likes, you get a few people who respond. Sometimes it's meaningful, sometimes it isn't. At the end of the day, it doesn't stick the same way a small talk conversation that might have some funny points is going to stick in person for me. It's just how it is. And I'm going to split this video. But before I do that, I just want to make sure I'm wrapping up this point. That's just the nature of the beast is really the only way I can put it is, dude, I totally lost my train of thought. Once again, going into all of this. To try and put a bow on this entire episode, because there's not much more I really think I want to say. Actually, there is. But to put a bow on all of that before I get into kind of like live on the spot, coming up with my solution, coming up with the next step, the step I actually want to take to be a doer and not a dreamer, is, there's just so much in my life that not a lot of people get to see because I live alone, and living alone is a curse. It's a blessing that I own a home, that I'm able to, I have a career where I can own a home. I don't know how long that career is going to last. Everything's shaky in Hollywood. I'd like to see it last a while. I also would like to see myself take my own life by the reins and kind of come up with my backup plan, come up with a way of getting income outside of that industry to keep this going, to just keep my life afloat, to keep my accomplishments with me, to not start moving backwards, because it's only getting harder. It's way harder today than it was in our parents' generation. So I want to keep moving forward. I want to keep moving forward, keep moving up on the ladder if I'm moving any direction at all. I never want to fall down. And I am grateful for that. But at the same time, what it takes to achieve my current position on the ladder, and on top of that, living alone, it's a really disastrous combo for me because I work a lot of hours. I've always said that. You guys know that. And wanting to have time to do stuff, even like what I'm doing right now, sit down and record podcast episodes, play games, spend time with my friends, play games with my friends, do my 3D printer stuff because I got 3D printer stuff going on. Right now I got some orders, which is fun. I like doing commission type stuff. Wanting to have time to do all of that when I'm already working 50 hours a week minimum, basically, with few exceptions to that, it's hard because I'm also commuting like 3 hours a day, 15. So let's say 65 hours a week. I'm pretty much booked. And it's hard to get to sleep at a good time, to wake up in time for work the next day and still have done anything for myself outside of like chores. And I got to learn to love chores. I got to learn to treat these chores like, hey, these are healthy for you. They make your life better. They make you more, appreciative. They make you, clean house is better for your mental health, all that kind of stuff. Dude, look at me. I'm just rambling. I'm totally going on a rant. I have lost the plot once again. Trying to put a bow on this thing, I unwrapped it again, kind of. But it's just, nobody else lives here. This house becomes a disaster, and I'm the only person that comes home to it, so I don't care. I'm like, it's my own mess. Why do I care? I don't want to clean that up. I just want to be better at all of that crap, and I know the first step is putting down the weed. I've done it for so long. I've probably done, like, permanent changes to my brain just because I started smoking as heavily as I was at the age of 20. For the last 9 years, like I said, I'm 29. For the last 9 years, I've been smoking almost daily that whole time. I might never get the memory I once had back. I used to have an incredible memory. I might just get a regular standard memory back. Who knows? I might not even get that, but I'm sure I'll get a lot back. Because when I took that week and a half off, I got a lot back. A lot more than I thought I would that quick. And I didn't even give myself time for the full thing to happen. So I really do believe the first step in all of this, I just got to clean up my act, man. I got to get off these social medias, stop doom scrolling, delete the apps. Deleting the YouTube app's going to be weird, but I got to do it. I got to do it. Maybe I'll just put a time limit on it and I won't let myself go past it. I will just actually abide by it. I will not go over. I will always be like, all right, cool. I did my 30 minutes on YouTube for today. The only reason I will undo that is if I got to upload something for the podcast, XYZ. I do all that on my PC anyways. We'll see how I do it now because I got this video on my phone. Maybe I'll do it from my phone. Still think I'm going to send this stuff to my computer. It's easier to get it on the podcast platforms from there. Tech stuff out loud. Sorry. But yeah, that's the bow, I think, is there's so much that I neglect in my life. I have such bad, if any, discipline, except when it comes to work. And I see a path before me to start dealing with these things. And I know as I go, the path will reveal itself more. The next steps will become clearer. After I've taken the first steps, I just got to do it. So that's the bow. And now we're going to talk about those steps, This is something that I have literally saved for this moment right now, sitting here recording this video, recording this podcast. I wanted to come up with, I have this thing I do when I'm trying to better myself in any way, when I'm trying to make changes for my life. And my buddy Ben, one of my closest friends, Ben, he calls me on this all the time. I try to do it in such big, dramatic, grandiose ways. Like when I want to quit weed, I'm like, yeah, I'm giving everything away. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm going to stick to it, dude. I'm really going to, blah, 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 blah. And, or when I'm trying to, do a YouTube thing, when I'm trying to start a new YouTube thing, I'm going to do this. I'm going to, have this boom, 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 boom. I got a schedule. I got all these systems in place. Systems. I'm always trying to make systems. And I have ADHD like a mother. So when I make systems, I don't often stick with them. I just love making them. I got a thing for making systems that I'm not going to stick with. And I really do believe once again, it all starts with getting sober from weed and eventually nicotine as well. And getting sober from social media, I think if I make systems, they'll be a little bit easier to stick with because I won't have these other things distracting me from the system. And then once I get distracted, it's hard for me to get back on track. That's a problem I have. If I break a habit, the habit might be done for. And it's a lot harder to reestablish a habit for me than it is to break one. Except bad habits. Of course, that only applies to good habits. Bad habits is the complete opposite. I'm sure that's everybody, but I'm just like to the fullest. I have not embraced, but I have lived that. I have embodied that. And unintentionally, I don't want to. I want to unembody the habits of bad and whatnot. But I don't want to go super hard into making a system early on here. I kind of want to use all these whiteboards that I have all around. I have so many whiteboards in my house, and I want to use them effectively because I don't know why I am such a whiteboard guy, but I kind of just want to when you were a kid and you made the little chart on the whiteboard and you'd get stars. And if you get a certain number of stars, you'd get McDonald's or something, whatever your parents' reward system was. I know it's silly. I know it's embarrassing almost. But I kind of want to set something like that up for myself where I just got chores. I make these marks and I find a way to reward myself. That is not weed. That is not some form of bad habit that I'm like, oh, I'm going to let myself get a little bit of this. I'm not saying that in the long run, I don't want to ever smoke weed again. But I don't want it to be a reward because I think that's unhealthy. I think rewarding myself with my bad habits is unhealthy. I think rewarding myself with guilty pleasures is a much different story. But right now, I can't call weed a guilty pleasure. It's a bad habit. Maybe one day it can be a guilty pleasure. And then it could be a reward for something in my life when I'm like on top of my crap. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna get myself some joints. I'm gonna smoke myself a joint tonight. But for the most part, no, it's a bad habit right now. It's not something I could do that with because I know if I do it, it's just going to be like, okay, now it's a weekly thing. Now it's a every other day. Now it's an every day. That's what it was last time. And I know that's what it'll be again. I just got to get out of the grasp. And, I've quit a drug dependency before. I was taking Adderall, doctor prescribed, and I quit that. And it was not doing good for me. It was doing some bad things to me, but I quit that. And it was as simple as I decided one night, I'm done. I still have the last one over in a drawer in my office over there, just kind of as like a little trophy. Like, yeah, dude, you kicked that, even though you felt like you needed it at the time. You stopped, and you did all right. It was a few weeks where it was pretty rough adjusting to not having it. In the long term, you ended off better because of it. And I recognize that. I'll never go back to it. And even if I get like a strange craving for it from time to time, even now, how many years later? Going on 9 years, 8.5 years later, I still every now and then I'm like, oh man, I remember that feeling. But I don't give into it, you know? It's just like, no, you know where that leads. That destroys everything. No thanks. No thanks. And I know there comes a point, hopefully, where once I'm off weed, I recognize after I've been off long enough, like if I smoke again and I make this a weekly thing, if I make this a daily thing, it's not going to be good for me. It's going to be pretty darn bad for me because it's going to keep me from staying on top of my things like hopefully I will have been, have become by that time. So how do I do that, right? How do I go about it? How do I stop smoking weed? And it sounds so stupid. How do I stop smoking weed? But how do I stop smoking weed and get off social media for the purpose of getting started on, just being more present in my life? And I think the only solution for me, and I've talked to a lot of guys that smoking habits were very similar to mine. Marijuana is not something that you wean off of. It doesn't hurt your life enough. I believe this is the same exact situation for nicotine. If anybody has successfully quit marijuana or nicotine when they have a pretty big dependency, whether it be mental or physical, if anybody has ever quit that with weaning off in like a reasonable time frame, please let me know. I'm not trying to say I deny it, that it has happened before. There's a reason doctors recommend it, but you kind of need doctor supervision. You need accountability. And for everybody I know that has successfully quit smoking and they stopped, like they just have not gone back. And it's been months. It's been long enough now where it's like, oh, they're for real. They're done with this stuff, whether it be vaping, smoking cigarettes, any form of nicotine consumption, or marijuana. They went cold turkey. They just stopped. They got rid of all of the stuff that made it possible that they had on hand in their homes. They got rid of it. They gave it away, threw it away, did whatever they had to do to get rid of this stuff, to remove it from being an option. And once they had done that, like they just had to really stick with it and have the discipline and willpower to say, no, there's a reason I got rid of that stuff. There's a reason I'm doing this. And I'm going to see it through. And it's like when you try to wean off, especially with marijuana, I haven't really tried with nicotine too much, but I have a little bit at times. It's been a lot longer than with marijuana. When you try to wean off of marijuana, if you're a guy like me, you get a little high. You smoke a smaller bowl than usual. You smoke less than usual. You're still high. You might not be as high, but for me, I don't even get like, whoa, I'm high. I just get like zombie. I just get zonked out. It's so dumb why I even want to do this to myself. But when you smoke a little bit, you're still getting high. And when you get high, you get a little dumb. It makes it easy to make bad decisions and be like, oh yeah, whatever, I don't care. So then it's easy to smoke more. It's easier to do another little one and you're smoking the same amount by the end of it. And if you're trying to quit vaping, or, I guess vaping is more, I don't have experience with cigarettes, can't speak on that. But whenever I've tried weaning off vaping to stop vaping, it's so accessible. It's so convenient. It's such a habit, the hand to mouth. And I know that's like the part people say is the hardest. That I got this pocket right here that my vape's always in. All my pants have a cargo pocket because I wear cargo pants and cargo shorts. Vape's always in the same pocket. I could reach in, I could hit it, I could blow it out, and I'm done. I'm done with it. I'm put it back in my pocket. Sometimes I don't even realize I did it. I was at my friend's apartment for the first time, and I asked if I could hit my vape in there, and somebody laughed. And I'm like, what? And they're like, you already did. And I was like, I don't remember. That's scary. It kind of freaked me out. It kind of really put in perspective, holy smokes. I walked in here, I hit this vape in this place like I own it, and then I asked, who knows how many hits later? I don't. That's embarrassing, dude. That's weird. That's weird. I'm a zombie. I'm a slave to this crap, and if nothing shows it, that shows it. And I'm not going to worry yet about quitting the nicotine. I want to do one substance at a time. But I really do think, like, it's really hard for me to say this, but I got to go grocery shopping. That's not the hard part. Hear me out. I got to go grocery shopping as soon as I finish recording this. And I think, as embarrassing as it is that this is hard to say, I'm going to grab every piece of paraphernalia in my house, all the weed in my house. I'm going to take it somewhere. I don't know where I'm going to take it, but I'm going to go give it to somebody. I'm just going to give it away. I'm done, dude. And I really do want to just start right now. There's no reason to wait. I keep, like, in my head, I'm like, I have a hard time accepting that I'm just not going to go and smoke when I'm done doing this. But I really do think I want to go out there. I kind of want to break all the glass because then I have no choice. But I'd rather give stuff away than break stuff, you know? I might throw away some stuff. I don't know. Maybe I just throw it all away. Who knows? I just go give away the actual, like, flower because in California, I can legally give that to somebody as a gift. I don't know, dude. I'm just out here thinking out loud. I might get in trouble for posting this, but I'll find out, I guess, if I get a ding. It's totally just tanks the podcast, removes me from platforms. But I think that's really the first step here is I take all that stuff and I just go, when I leave to go grocery shopping, I take it with me and I hit someone up and I'll be like, hey, do you want this? And I just go give it away and I'm done. And I'm done. And I have a hard time sleeping tonight. I'll probably have a hard time sleeping tomorrow. But if not now, then when? It's literally just something I'm going to keep going on forever and ever and ever and ever. And this episode will probably be posted a week after this has happened. I'm recording this on Sunday, probably put it up on Saturday, if not Friday. So I think that's step one. I go on Instagram and I don't even say anything about I don't even say anything. Like, maybe I just make a note on there saying, like, you know, deleting my Instagram, hit me up on my cell phone. If you don't got my number, get it from someone. I don't know. I don't really want to wait around to be like, oh yeah, here you go. You could have my number. Everybody that needs my number's got it, you know? And that's something I got to remind myself. I'm not missing out. I got FOMO. Like, I'm going to miss something if I'm not on Instagram to see what's going on with the world. It's stupid. It's stupid. Anybody that needs my phone number's got it. And the people that really matter have my location. They know where I'm at. We're good. We're solid, homie. I don't need Instagram. So I just got to delete the Instagram app, set a time limit on the YouTube app that I strictly abide by. And I only, you know, listen to music. And that's going to be the weirdest one. Getting the YouTube out. I'm gonna probably set, like, that one I might wean off a little, the YouTube. But Instagram is bad. YouTube, luckily, has a feature where you can limit your shorts scrolling just on YouTube. Shorts are the worst. So that's something I'm definitely doing. I already have that set up. I have 15 minutes a day of scrolling on shorts, and then YouTube cuts me off. I can only watch long form or individual shorts from there. I can't scroll on shorts. It won't let me scroll, which is a great feature, by the way. Shout out YouTube. Thank you for, you know, understanding your platform thrives off this stuff, but also offering options to be like, you know what? You could put it in your own hands. Obviously, we're trying to keep you around. It's kind of wrong. I wish Instagram had the feature, but Instagram, They're like built-in time limits junk, I discovered today. But that's really what I think it is. And this is a little message I want to give to myself to be the very last thing of this episode. Cody Mac, Cody, Cuboac, Codeine, Codex 13. I'm calling you by every name you've ever had, dude. Dude, note from self for self. Stop being so worried about the feeling of not being able to get high for a day. Yeah, it's going to suck for a day and you know it. And for some reason, you catastrophize it in your head like it's going to last longer than a day and that you can't get through it. And then you just keep smoking and you're so nonchalant about it. Brother, it ain't worth it. You don't really get that high. Your time, your experience in life has only been negatively affected by it recently. You've been able to really tell that you're high and you're out of it. You are zonked out. You're not able to appreciate the moments you are within. And you don't like it. When you recognize this, you don't like it. You're like, oh, man. And then you'll go and smoke more, and I don't know why I do it. I don't know why I do it. But you don't have to. It's okay to change. It's okay to see what life without this ultimate vice that you've had for 9 years is like. It's better. We both know it's better. We don't even have to get there to know it is better. Think of all of the biggest potheads you knew and how they quit. And they say it's the best thing they've ever done for themselves for all the reasons that you want to achieve. The things you struggle with, they did too. And they no longer do since quitting weed. Why? Why do you need it? You don't, dude. You don't. And just think about how good you felt, how much more connected to the world you felt for even a few days when you were off it before and you still had weird things happening. You've made so much progress in life. You know who you are more than you probably ever have. And it really is the perfect time to just get better, to just get that disciplined nerve going and put this stuff down. You don't need it. It's not doing nothing for you. And you know what you want in life. What you want in life is to be engaging with the real world, not this little electronic device in your pocket and not going and smoking and playing, getting mindless monkey mode. You want to clean up your house. You want to take better care of your house. You want to take better care of yourself. You want to organize your belongings. Like, you're embarrassed of the way you live. And you have this picture in your head, if not crystal clear. You've got these ideas that are just naturally come to you. You crave for them. Just do it. Think about a month from now, how proud. And literally only a month. Months go by quick in your life. Think about in a month how proud you're going to be. If you could say, I haven't smoked weed in a month, my house looks great, I've cleaned up my backyard, I got this extra money, I'm on top of my stuff. I'm not just letting things fall behind. I'm not getting stressed out about the mail. I'm not all over the place, scatterbrain, brain fog galore. You could do better, man. And if you quit smoking and it's not the solve all you think it is, it doesn't mean that you can't find other ways. And it doesn't mean you got to go back to smoking because it didn't give you the 100% improvement that you want in life. If quitting smoking gets you even 10% of the way, if it's the first 10%, you don't let go of that. That's a whole letter grade, brother. Say you got a 97%, you got an A. And then you're like, you know what? My grade will drop by 10%, but I just want to get high. I just want to get this instant gratification of the dopamine rush of marijuana to my brain just because I can, because I'm an adult and I say I can. It ain't worth it. You know it ain't worth it. I know it ain't worth it. Do it for you, dog. You're not doing it for no one else. You're doing it for you. You know the way you felt before you started smoking all this weed. You know that you miss that guy so much, and you ain't been him in a long time, and you might never be exactly him again, but dang it, you can get a lot closer. This ain't it. This isn't it. But you know what is, and you are more than capable of getting there. And I believe in you, doggy. And we're going to do it. I'm going to get rid of all that stuff right now. And we're posting this. And I know myself. I find a cop out of all of this stuff. I am posting this on the internet in a week. So you better stick by it. When this goes up, people should be in the comments, in my text messages, talking about, how's it been? How's this week been without weed? I want those comments because I want the shame if I have to be like, oh, I smoked all week. I want that shame. And I want the glory. I want the gratification, the non-instant gratification of, I said I was going to do this and I stuck to it. Check that out. I'm a man of my word when it comes to other people. I want to be a man of my word to myself because that integrity goes so far. So far. I love you guys. Thank you very much for watching or listening to the All Mac No Cheese podcast. It is great to be back. And we'll see what the next episode looks like, what the scenery's like, where I'm at, who I'm with, what the getup is then. And, hopefully it'll be a week sober version of me, a week sober from weed version of me that has a lot to talk about that, Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm out. I already said thank you. I'm out. Peace. Deuces.